Welcome everyone. This is Divine Dialogues, Intuitives Unveiled. I am Tracey Mango from Angels on the Prairie.
And I'm Rhonda Sean with Divine Guidance with Rhonda. And we're members of the Angel Empowerment Wellness Center. In our podcast, we're going to be delving into topics such as intuition, angelic connections, and the spiritual realm.
We're also going to talk about our own personal experiences to help you understand your own intuitive abilities. Thanks for joining us.
And let's begin.
Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode. Today we're going to talk about nature angels, I guess you could call them. We're going to talk about fairies, dragons, mermaids. Some people call them like elemental beings. I personally don't always associate with it that way. We're gonna talk a little bit about and the nature, because it's all about nature, and that's me. Like, I'm big into nature and connecting with nature and the four elements of, like, you know, we talk about water, fire, air, and
earth.
Thank you. Anyways, yeah, so you know, I'll give you a little bit how I use them all. Just saying, but we'll talk a little bit about about fairies, how we use fairies. You know what, I'm gonna back up a little bit because I'm the nature person. So I use them all in regards to nature. Like fairies, I ask to look after my plants, trees, animals, my yard. You know, and if anybody has seen anything, like I do, I'm going to do a little plug because I teach about auric spirit, and which talks about the fairies and that, and I have an online class about it. And I have a picture where I connected with the tree man, and he's the one that had or the green man, I guess I should call him. I don't know why he calls himself to me like the tree man, but he's the green man. And he came to our home, into our yard, and showed himself to me in a tree and gave me some direction of what to do about our yard and how to look after it, and showed me in the bottom of the tree that there's a fairy home, and I have pictures of that in the class. And like, I have a lot of trees around our yard. You know, do I connect with the trees? Absolutely. Like, I'll go, like, you know, I'll tell you, if you're walking and you stop and lean on a tree, you're connecting to the tree, because they're there to help you. They clear you, get rid of your negative and return it with positive. And you always wonder how you feel so much better after a walk, or after you go lean on a tree, or after you have flowers in your home, you go buy flowers and you put them in your home, how the atmosphere in your home, the energy changes in your home, because it makes you happy. And that's all about, you know, our nature fairies. So like every year in the spring, I ask my fairies to please look after my yards, my gardens, my flowers, so they produce well. And I'm always grateful that they always look so amazing. And yes, I do tend them. But sometimes in the summer I'm very busy, so I'm not around as much. My husband, I'm lucky, my husband does help water. But still, the fairies help with my yard, for sure. Do you use fairies at all, Rhonda?
Not typically, but honestly, I'm not really an outdoors person. However, I find as I do more and more of this work, I will all of a sudden, fairies will come in, especially when I'm doing readings. And then a lot of times, the client that's coming, I'm like, "Are you an outdoor person by chance?" And they're like, "Yeah, I love the outdoors." And I'm like, "Okay." Because I said, I'm getting a lot of fairy energy. So to me, they're very light and fun, and like I consider them fast, like so they're high vibration, but they're flutter vibrate. Like I just
Oh,
gotta like they bring me a sense of like joy and peace. Like I just want to laugh. Like
that's the truth.
uh,
I know when I'm doing a reading with fairies, when I first started doing with the fairies, I would end up talking. I was going blah 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 blah, blah, and I went, okay, fairies, you got to slow right down and change the energy because the people are looking at me like, because I'm in that high energy.
yeah,
So now when I'm doing a reading, it's even keel.
yeah.
And but
Oh, no, sorry. What I find too though is now that I'm kind of like open to fairy energy, when I kind of want to say I need that quick hit as far as like lifting my vibration or something, they will enter in for me. So it's like, oh, okay. So I'm like, clearly I need to lift myself up.
oh, they're good for that. They love. They are. Fairies are. They like love to raise your energy, keep you in the positive. They love to help. Watch your pets. Oh, cats. They love to irritate cats. Like, and that's, they love to irritate cats. Dogs, they just, it's a different energy for a dog. It's kind of funny. They're more calm around dogs, but cats, they love to irritate. I don't know what that's about, but that's how my take on it and how they show them to me of how it is.
Well,
But they play. I know they love to play with the dragonflies because we have lots of dragonflies around and the butterflies. They play with them lots. And
yeah,
that's something else. If you feel you don't have enough, if you want more dragonflies, you want more butterflies, just our ladybugs. All you have to do is ask. Ask your fairies to bring them, to bring you more insects, whatever you would like. There again, that's what they're here for.
yeah.
They're sorry, Rhonda.
No, well, when you just mentioned like the dragonflies, like I'm going, oh, because to me, dragonfly means there's some sort of spirit element to it, like somebody's connecting with me. And more so than ever, I've noticed dragonflies like crazy. The other day, I saw probably at least 20 in our backyard. And I was like,
Mosquitoes are out.
yes, that's true. But I was like, huh, that's interesting. Like, what's that about? Like,
But still, it's true. That we
yeah,
do associate dragonflies with spirit. It's also, yeah, for
yeah,
sure. And butterflies, some people associate. And
yeah,
that's another episode. Just saying.
yes, yes.
And another nature angel I call is the unicorn. Now, I kind of learned this a little later about unicorns. I don't use them, and that's a bad word to use, but it's the truth. Unicorns, from what I was channeled from a unicorn, from where I live in the unicorn, he told me that unicorns are given kind of like plots of land, like that it is their responsibility to look after. So to keep things clean and good, no, just to keep it all positive. And it's like that's their job is to look after this piece of land. And the unicorn that looks after our land helps keep our land safe, keeps our property safe. So I 100% trust him to keep any negativity away from our land.
Yeah,
So that's what he does for me, for the unicorn. I'm sure there's, a unicorn is like you ask. I'm going to say there's just like there's so many different types of archangels. There's different types of angels. There's different types of fairies, like they each have jobs. Unicorns have jobs. Mermaids have, they all have special abilities for what they do. And I'm just telling you about the unicorns and the fairies that what I associate them with, because that's how they've come to me. And I mean, there is, so trust if you get a unicorn or a fairy or, and I'm going to we'll talk about dragons too, that they have jobs, you know, that they do for certain people. And this is, I'm just explaining what these nature creatures do for me.
Yeah.
Do you deal with unicorns much, Rhonda?
Funny that you should say that. No, again, but I was at an event out at Kenosi Lake, and this one lady gifted me a unicorn deck. And so I started playing with it. So it was just kind of like, oh, okay. Like I just thought it was just neat that, so it's kind of we kind of talk about a little bit like the divine guidance or thing. It's like, because it wasn't something I've always been fascinated by unicorns, but not realizing it. So, yeah, so when she gifted me the deck, I was like, thank you. So it was just my angels guiding me to start working with that realm. And then interesting, again, kind of how things work is doing readings. People, a majority of the time, pick that deck as one of the decks to do. So I've been starting to play with them a little bit
And
more.
learning.
Yeah.
And is that the truth? When I'll put out my fairy deck, I'll put out a fairy, a dragon, a mermaid, and it's funny how often one of them is picked.
Yeah.
So, and then they go, oh, when you start giving them explanations, and they'll go, oh, well, that makes sense. I kind of get that now, and I'm excited,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And well, that was the other thing too, that like, so I would say majority of my work is with the angels and archangels, but as I do more and more of this work, different elements in a way have popped in with me. And it's like, so it's just kind of understanding that like it's all vibration, it's all energy, but everything has its serves its own purpose, right? And it's my team that like kind of guides me. It's like, okay, so clearly I was supposed to start working with the unicorn energy. And like I said, the fairy energy comes in. Like, so as the more open you are to learning different, and I want to say when this is where your team kind of protects you. It's like, so you don't go into overwhelm, it's like, okay, you kind of mastered this. Now we're gonna bring in this energy for you to learn and get those messages from there. Because I didn't know anything really about, like, I always knew fairies, but I didn't know what they did or what they offered or what they would bring in.
Well, it's the truth. And you know, okay, guys, you got to bear with me because I was going to talk about mermaids, and I was told, find the deck. And I'm going, well, I don't think I have the deck here. Oh, I guess I lied. I have the deck here. So they want me to pull a card to explain about them, which is kind of very interesting because this is one element, one realm I don't deal a lot with, but apparently that might change. So, so the card says, wait, don't rush into action right now. Bide your time for better results. So what this is telling me is, you're going to learn all about all these different realms. And you know what? Rhonda brought that up, and that's what I would literally call them, the fairy realm. The fairy realm, the unicorn realm, the mermaid realm, and we will talk about the dragon realm too. So, like, I'm big into water, which to me brings me right away to the mermaids, because I believe that water is very clearing. And, you know, and I'm being told also, like, there's different, like, fairies and fae, and then there's mermaids and sirens. So there's differences, there's positive and negatives. So they're saying stay in the positive. Don't go to there's stop and clear, delete that, don't, which we just talked about here not too long ago. But anyways, stay in the positive about all these realms. Like, a lot of it's folklore. Is that right? Like, it's
Folklore.
a belief system of people. So, they're here to help us. These realms are here to help us. Just like the angels, archangels, you still have to ask for help. And mermaids are definitely about, well, you're not gonna believe this, but the word that they're telling me is tranquility. So, in other words, it's about self-care, relaxing, solitude. So learn to look after yourself. Take care of yourself is what the mermaids are telling me they are about. And water is cleansing. So whether you stick your feet in the lake, in a river, in the ocean, the movement of the water is clearing. But also, and yes, people love bathing, soaking in a bath. It's 100% feels great. But I always ask that after you rinse yourself off so that the day negative that's in that tub is going to go down the drain and you're going to clear it off. If you're able to have showers at night to just rinse off, you'll find you'll sleep much better. And that's from the mermaids in water.
Yeah. And actually, with that, I'm just going to add a little bit with kind of going back to the bath. So, a lot of times when we kind of get like, kind of going back into the tranquility and everything, if you're kind of wanting to connect, you hear about this. People often, when they get their, I want to say, biggest downloads, is often because they're in the shower. And it's because it's kind of hitting certain points on your head and your body that you're able to connect a little bit easier. And a lot of times there's less distraction in the shower because you're not bringing your phone in or you're not bringing electronics in or like,
Correct.
so it's basically it's kind of one of the few times that you're in solitude with yourself, so you're opening up the channels to receiving messages.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I believe it 1000% that there's a reason that they want you to shower. Because that's what they tell me. And you know what? The last card that they say that the mermaids are about, pull a third card, people, is empowerment. Isn't that the greatest card? You are more powerful than you think you are, and it's safe to be that way. It's safe to be powerful. So mermaids are there to help you to be powerful. Okay? Okay, now, last one. One of my faves. Dragons. Dragons, dragons, dragons. Well, dragons are one of the oldest realms known. Like it's an old realm. And there's many different types of dragons. Um, do I use dragons? Yes. I'll tell you, this is kind of putting myself out there, but when I'll maybe go, I'm not a, like, let's get this, I'm not a gambler, but I like to go sit in the casino and I don't play cards. I just do the slots for a little while. If I have my limits, and I call my daughter's dragon Argon to come play with me because he loves to play with me at the slots and he helps me lots. So just so you know, that's what that dragon does for me. But I mean, I love to introduce people to their dragon. It's funny how when people pick that deck, when I'm doing a card reading, and the things that come out is just amazing. Dragons are definitely here to help. And you are able to ask dragons to help your family, and they will always come home, but they will definitely you are able to ask them to go help them with their family. If somebody is struggling with something, you can ask your dragon to go help them, and they will. But they will always come home. They always come back. They love to help. And they live different spots in the home. I'm finding more and more all the time. Every time I do a reading, I learn more every time about the dragons. They're here just like the angels, archangels. They're here to help you. It's just a different energy. I don't know how to explain it other than it's an old energy. It's, to me, very strong. And I feel so safe in their energy. Have you worked with dragons at all, Rhonda?
No, actually, I only learned about dragons through you.
Hell.
Yeah. So this is kind of okay. This is how this works, you guys, because I'm kind of putting Tracy on the spot, but this is what I've been downloading. You're supposed to pull a
Oh,
card for me from your dragon deck.
guess what?
Just to-
I got the cards out because I knew that's what I was doing for Rhonda. I was going to pull her a card from the dragon deck.
yeah.
Okay, team, Mr. Dragon. What do you want Rhonda to know for her greater good this moment in time? And if anybody knows me, you can hear me shuffling. The card's got to fly or I won't use it. And he's being particular. There it goes.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, there's a few. There's 3, Rhonda.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
1, 2, or 3. What would you like?
I heard 3.
Okay. Oh. Earth Dragon. Clears your path and the land around it. Stay grounded. Be ready to serve. Stuck energy is clearing. You can move forward in life. So, this is about, okay, so, well, apparently, even though you say you're not an outside person, they want you out more because they're showing me grounding to the earth, like big time, that he's grounded and he wants you to be more grounded to the earth, which kind of, it's kind of
Makes
funny.
sense. Yeah.
But he's saying to use the earth. Your dragon is an earth dragon. So start asking for more connections to the earth, apparently.
Okay.
Isn't that funny, people, that things just happen for a reason, and I guess Rhonda's gonna start using dragons.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. Oh, okay. So your dragon, I guess you're gonna get a whole lesson.
Okay. This is good.
Her dragon is earth tones, more browns than greens. He is a younger dragon. Okay, so and it's male, obviously, because he keeps saying he. This is interesting because they usually live in the house. They like to be by windows, up in the corner in the ceiling, by corners, by windows, but this one apparently is not. He's outside. He lives outside. He's by your bedroom window, but he's outside. That's interesting. I've never. You're the first one that I've had that he lives outside. I've had live in bedrooms, bathrooms, living rooms, but not outside. So he's definitely an earth guy because he knows how cold it is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But no, he's above your window, like literally, like there's under the eaves. He's right there in your bedroom.
Okay.
Okay, so you just have to invite him in.
Okay.
That makes sense now why he's outside. He's just waiting for you. And name, just wait.
Okay.
So he says, now, what name popped in your head?
I wasn't thinking actually.
Well, you better, because he's
Okay.
saying, now people don't overthink this because it's like anything. It can be Pete for crying out loud. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be in other cultures, in their language, that they have told me that it's in their language and that they are for them to come through in their own language. But did a name pop in?
Thomas.
Okay. And then people are going, that's not a dragon name. But you understand, we don't know their language. So they're bringing it and making it simple for us to understand. So, all right. Thomas is Rhonda's dragon.
That's interesting. So I'm just going to give a little bit of background in that sense because it makes sense to me with the outside. As much as I don't like being outside, I do know my more powerful downloads do happen outside. So it's just to kind of change up my energy and vibration, I guess, for lack of better term.
Yeah, I believe it for sure. Because it's fresh outside. It's always fresh.
Yeah.
And is in a house, it gets stagnant. Unless you literally clear your home from debris, it's stagnant. So,
Yeah.
and I mean, that's something we do.
Yeah. Because I
But
know when I go for my walks, like I go by a kind of a pond and yeah, I'll sit there sometimes and I'm going, oh, I'm getting all these downloads. So clearly my team is telling me to get outside because there's probably something important coming in.
oh, that's funny. Well, I guess now we know why we listen.
Yep.
Perfect.
Well, thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome. So,
But just to make everybody know, that totally was not scripted.
no, no,
Like,
we didn't, I have to be honest, we didn't really know what for sure was going to come through.
yeah,
We, like, actually, all of our podcasts are unscripted because we trust that the teams that help us to go through and say what people need to hear and what they'd like to learn. We trust, and this one was out there.
yeah.
So
But just the fact that I got the same download and Tracy got the same download, in essence, that it was supposed to happen.
yeah, because we don't literally sit and write down. We sit down and say, okay, so what is our next episode? What next podcast is going to be? Like, we don't have a list of them all, what we do. So
Yeah.
just so you know, we trust our teams of what to do. And are the dragons and the fairies in my team? And the mermaids? Absolutely.
Yep. I agree with that.
Okay, so those to me, for me, are the main realms that I personally work with. And I believe Rhonda will now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But
for
it's
sure.
funny how your journey just increases and expands, and like we're all have our own little journeys and things are introduced and we just go with it.
Yeah. And then that's where we kind of always talk about it's what feels right for you. Doesn't necessarily mean feels right for somebody else. you know,
Exactly.
so it's, and some of the stuff that we may say may not resonate with you, and that's okay. You take what resonates and you leave the rest, because what might resonate with you won't work for somebody else, but what resonates for somebody else might not resonate with you.
If we were all the same, we'd be pretty boring. So, thanks for joining us on this new episode
Yes.
about the
Yeah.
different realms of
Yes, that was fun.
fairies, dragons, mermaids. Alrighty?
All right. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you for listening to Divine Dialogues, Intuitives Unveiled. If you would like to work with Tracey and Rhonda, our information is posted in the show notes.
Now, our new episodes are going to fall on Tuesdays. So, if you're interested in receiving a free meditation on connecting to your guardian angels, click that link below to subscribe to the Angel Empowerment Wellness Center newsletter. Thanks for joining us.
Take care, everybody.